Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Father Peter Fink. I'm on the staff of Ignatius House. And we begin this week one of the most sacred and solemn times of our liturgical year. For we come together once again with Jesus, as he gathered on that night before he died. He's with his friends in the upper room. He needs to be there. He needs to face and perhaps find courage for all that may lie ahead. It's been a strange week, hasn't it? His entrance into Jerusalem was magnificent. But Jesus himself knew that the welcome was, not quite true. This is his time, and his future will be very different from that wonderful welcome which we celebrate on Palm Sunday. In the upper room, he's gathered for what will be his final meal. The Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, present it as a Passover meal, whereas John sees it as a meal of friendship, a meal of service, a meal of love. For the Synoptics, the meal celebrates the ancient deliverance of Israel from Egypt, and it gives Jesus himself the resources he will need in the journey he is about to undertake. In danger, I called upon the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me free. The Lord is with me. I am not afraid. That's Psalm 118, one of the Hallel Psalms, which is prayed at the Passover meal. For John, who wishes to stress the newness of this final meal, the focus is no longer on the past, but on the present and the future. Jesus knew that his hour had come to pass from this world to the Father. He loved his own who were in the world, and he loved them to the end. And Jesus' farewell speech and his final prayer to his Father signals just how new the mystery of this person, Jesus, will be. Two different views, yet both signaling Jesus' gift to us of himself, the gift of his tragic path ahead, the gift of his death, and that great wonder of his being raised from the dead. In the synoptic version of the supper, the language is focused on the bread and the wine. Take and eat, take and drink. In John's version, the language is focused more on water. Water to wash each other's feet. Unless I wash you, you can have no part in me. Communion in the common meal. Communion in our service to each other. So on this Holy Thursday, give thanks for this wonderful gift that is his presence in food, his presence in service to God and to each other. There's a wonderful Byzantine prayer I love to pray. I believe, O Lord, and I confess that you are indeed the Christ, the Son of the living God, who has come into the world to save sinners, of whom I am the chief. So, from the meal, we go to the garden, where the final temptation is set before him and, in fact, rejected. If it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will. In one sense, this is the moment of sacrifice. Not as I will, but as you will. From this point on, through all the deception, the betrayal, the scourging, the mockery, and the death itself upon the cross, Jesus will hold firm to that one decision, not as I will, but as you will. I always ask myself, where am I when Jesus was crucified? Am I courageous enough to stand with Mary, with John, with the other two women named Mary at the cross? I used to think that I was. That's where I wanted to be. But that turned out to be only a theoretical muse. In prayer, I found myself and find myself at different places at different times. Once I was on a distant hill, unable to get off that hill, at least not because I wanted to. Every time I moved, I was back on that hill. What I found is that each Good Friday, I'm invited to be where Jesus wants me to be. On the hill, in the crowd, even once the centurion who pierced his side. The important thing for you and me now is, where will Jesus invite you to be as he dies on the cross? O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Please answer me. The day after Good Friday is a lonely time. Jesus is now dead and buried. His mother Mary now stands at the place of burial, as do others, his friends, maybe even a few who jeered at him, but all are lost in silent wonder. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Was there anyone who might know what would happen next? Look at the two on the road to Emmaus. We were hoping. Look at Mary Magdalene. They've taken my Lord, and I do not know where they have put him. What was Peter doing, having denied him? And the others, where were they? And Mary, his mother. Wow. What sorrow must have pierced her heart? Well, let's look ahead. Ignatius of Loyola captured a hidden but marvelous tradition that Jesus appeared to his mother first. Thank you for being there, was all that Jesus said. And to Mary Magdalene, who thought him to be a gardener, Jesus called her by name. Mary, stop clinging to me. John and Peter were so surprised. They ran to the tomb and he was not there, and they were just puzzled. But as time went on, they too understood. Life will never be the same. He is risen. So, your journey through this Triduum this year will be both personal and communal. It will affect you, your family, your friends, and all those with whom you live. And it is a word that will affect the whole world. For a new mission has been given to us all as Christian people, to imitate this person, and to continue in our lives his way of being, of loving, of forgiving, of caring, of reaching out, of serving, and of being the voice of God spoken now in our world. Happy Triduum, my brothers and sisters.